This is Channels Television's breaking news.
We heard back with some CCNATION news coming out of Florida. The Parkland shooter, Nikolas Cruz, has been sentenced to life in prison by a jury recommendation. The jury has recommended that the shooter who killed 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, to be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Nikolas Cruz, 24, pled guilty to 17 charges of murder and 17 charges of attempted murder. The question is, will Cruz be sentenced to life in prison or the death penalty? A unanimous decision is required to impose the death penalty. However, the jurors unanimously found that the death penalty is not merited because the mitigating circumstances outweighed the aggravating factors. It took about an hour to read all the verdicts. People in the courtroom, the families of the victims, shook their heads in disbelief. The judge cannot override the decision. In 2016, they abolished death sentences by judicial override, so the sentence will stand. Family members are upset. Father of one of the victims said, "I am disgusted for our legal system. I am disgusted with those jurors." He says, "I pray that that animal suffers every day of his life in jail, and that he should have a short life." Prosecutors wanted the death sentence. Cruz's rampage is the deadliest mass shooting to go on trial. Now, my thoughts on this, I think it is the right call. I am not a believer in the death penalty for these reasons. One, it's too expensive. Or getting the chemicals is too expensive, and having somebody live their life in jail. So they only get 3 meals a day, rec time, it's like 1 hour, and that's about it. But the death penalty, it's too expensive. Two, there's a lot of psychological factors on the person's mind. Cause going through depression, anxiety. It's a tough situation to deal with, and it doesn't really progress society. Having us, chant bloody murder for someone, it's not going to get to the bottom of this. It doesn't deter crime either. And it also makes people look like hypocrites. So you're mad at him for killing 17 people, but yet you want him to be punished the same way the victims lost their life, having been killed by somebody else, executed. No one should have the right to kill, not the government. And it really makes no sense for a sentencing trial. He's going to die in prison anyway. Just give him a life sentence and move on. And also, most people, they don't really understand how the legal process works because they're too emotional. Most Americans don't know the law. There was a huge legal process behind the death penalty. You have decades of appeals. Some people have to wait 30 years to be executed. You got mandatory appeals that directly go to the state Supreme Court. You have additional appeals filed by the defense attorneys, pardon applications, exoneration applications. The death penalty is a huge process. After the trial's over, these people don't die immediately. They don't go straight to the guillotine. So you have to make sure that they did this crime. Life without parole is the same thing. I'm not really a fan of it. I think, people should have a chance to rehabilitate themselves and get out of prison. He's 24, he's young. He's not like 45 who has a prior record. He's young, has some mental issues, went on the rampage. He didn't know how to control himself. This guy can get rehabilitated, change who he is, realize what he did is illegal, then hey, maybe pardon the guy, put him on a work release program, on prison, or lifetime probation, then maybe pardon him, set him free. I doubt that's gotta happen. Our society needs to move on from bloody murder and eye for an eye. We need to be more of a really rehabilitatable society. Giving people the chance to change. And that's if he wants to change. Now, if he blows his chances, then yeah, then he should be in prison for life. But we can't judge people based on the crime that they committed. A person can repent, show some remorse, and change themselves. We should give them another shot at life. Yes, it's sad. I do feel for the victims. These people aren't coming back. No sentence isn't going to bring these people back. But this man's still alive. He has a chance to change. But anyway, Nikolas Cruz sentenced to life in prison. Apparently, there's going to be an investigation going on because one of the jurors threatened the others. So who knows what will happen. But I feel bad for this guy. He does not look good here. Yes, what he did was terrible. But look at his life. He faced abuse, some mental illness. I think this was bound to happen. I don't think he premeditated this. I don't think he woke up a day saying, hey, I'm going to go kill 17 people. No, it just developed the trait through his years of anxiety, depression, abuse, and illness. These are types of people we got to focus on, not just guns. We have to let cool heads prevail here. This has been another episode of CCNATION News. More news stories to follow.